Hello and welcome back to my colouring quest. It is the end of September and I am going to be showing you all my completed pages for the month, and there may be a couple that were from the end of August. So just to get started, the first book is Spook Sketchbook by Carla Magana, and I have completed one page in this book, which is this page. And yeah, alcohol marker base on top with Castle Arts gold pencils, and any white detailing you see is a Posca pen. So it's just a simple one. I will hold it up a bit closer because it is a small book, so hopefully you can see that. And as you can see, I do own alcohol markers that some of the orangey yellow colours tend to leave this orange mark, but I'm not so bothered about it. You can't see it through there, and when it gets onto the other page like this, I'm going to be going over that with alcohol marker anyway, so it's most likely going to disappear. I'll just pick a darker colour so it doesn't really bother me. Yeah, and the next one I plan to do in this book is this one, which already has the alcohol marker base. And yeah, I tried to keep this book simple, just alcohol markers and pencils, maybe a gel pen. Yeah, so that is Spooklet Sketchbook by Carla Magana. Next I have this Victorian fantasy collection colouring book by Kuramori. I apologise if I said that wrong. I do struggle with names. Right, and I have coloured this page, and this I absolutely love. I did struggle with colour choices to start with, but I started with this purple sky, and after that I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to go with anything that's out there, sort of colours, and hope for the best. And I love how bright and colourful it is, and yeah, I don't normally do colours like that, so I'm glad that turned out. And this lighting is a bit strange. I'm going to try just turning the other light off and see how that does. Let's see. I think that creates slightly less glare. Hopefully I can try and... I don't know how it will help. I'm just going to go with that for now. Yeah, it's picking the colours up well, it's just I'm getting the glare. Right, so that was Victorian Fantasy Collection by Kuramori. Next I have a Disney Coloriage Mystère Seasons, and this is the first book that I own like this. I don't own any Disney Colour by Numbers other than this book, and I saw a flip through of this book and it showed the back pages, and yeah, it's got some of like the films that I love in it, which not all of these types of books do, and I just love that it's got the seasons throughout it. So I coloured this Cinderella, and boy was it a long one, because I was at my brother's house and I only had my Castle Art pencils, so the whole entire thing is coloured with Castle Art gold pencils. And this background, I just wish I had some sort of marker or paint or something. But yeah, I do like how it's turned out. I did have to mix a couple of colours to create some of these down here, as I didn't have something that really matched. But yeah, I tried my best and I think it looks okay. And this does have, is it 100 pages these have? Yeah, this does have 100 pages, so I can't see myself buying another one of these anytime soon, because it'll take me a long time to even get through that. Right, next up I have Wildwood Witches Special of Colouring Heaven, and this has 40 exclusive magical designs by Steve Hutton, and I have coloured this page, number 30, and it's called Rihanna Winsome, and I do love how this turned out. Hopefully you're not getting too much of a glare. I'll just hold it up like this. So I have used a black acrylic paint in the background and gold acrylic paint, for which I'm guessing is an eagle. I'm not completely great at birds. And then I've done an alcohol marker base for the rest of the illustration, including the grass, and then I've gone in again with Castle Art pencils, but this one was a short while ago, nearer the beginning of the month, and I'm not sure whether it was my original Castle Arts or my Castle Art Gold. But yeah, Castle Arts nonetheless, and I'm really happy with that page, and that is my first page I have coloured in here. Absolutely amazing designs. Like, look at all the cats. I do love that one. And another thing I love as well is there's quite a few that show like older characters. Flipping through it now and everybody's like young. But yeah, there are in here characters that like you can tell they're supposed to be older and not young females. I mean, and the emotions that some of these illustrations have. Yeah, I do like them. And I had not heard of this illustrator before, so I will have to look more if there is more of their work or anything out there. So that was Wildwood Witches Special with illustrations by Steve Hutton. Next I have the Gothic Compendium of Colouring Heaven, and this contains some of their favourite Gothic illustrations compiled into this book, and I have coloured this page, and this featured originally in their Gothic Fairy special, and this illustration is by Mika Jelena, and as you can probably tell, I've used an alcohol marker base and just on top with coloured pencils. I had this one as a whip for a while, and yeah, I just came back to it with some basic pencil shading and just called it done because I couldn't be bothered to do any more on it, but I wanted it complete. So yeah, that's from the Gothic Compendium of Colouring Heaven, and again that is the first one I've coloured in there. But my niece did start this page back in 2022 and I love it. Like, it's just some alcohol marker on there, but she's thought to blend the colour out, which I love, and then she's added some blood. I'm like, okay. But she goes to me, I don't want to colour anymore. And then she goes, it looks good how it is. Which I agree. It doesn't need anything more. Like, a dark and gloomy background is what I imagine, but it sort of says something as well when this part is only the part that's coloured. Like, that's the meaning behind this image. So yeah. And next I have Manga Fairies special, also of Colour in Heaven, and this has illustrations by Stanera. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce it. And I have coloured this page, illustration number 24, and as you can see, this gold shiny outline is by acrylic paint, and then I think I just used coloured pencils. Yeah, no alcohol marker, just coloured pencils and then a white Posca pen to go over the black lines on her wings. Yep, really enjoyed that one. I just saw her as pink and gold. And I love how the hair turned out. I don't do that shade of brown for hair very often, and it does have a slight undertone of pink, which I like. So that was Manga Fairies Special by Stanera of Colour in Heaven. Right, next I have Fairy and Fantasy 4 Grayscale Colouring Book by Christine Karen. And I have coloured this one, and I absolutely love how this one turned out. I just saw her as being Red Riding Hood and just went with it. Added this circular background with the moon, and on this one I used a variety of Derwent pencils. I have small sets of some of their pencil lines, and I think it was mostly the Derwent drawing pencils, I think it was, but there are a couple of colours in there that were, I think, were like Derwent Artist and maybe another set. I can't remember which ones I actually own because I only own a few pencils within each set. So that was Fairy and Fantasy 4 Colouring Book by Christine Karen. Next I have probably my favourite finished page for the month, and it's from the Mythical Hybrid Special of Colour in Heaven, featuring designs by Josh Lee. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love anything that has his illustrations in. And I have coloured this Ladybird page using just Castle Art gold pencils. What was this? Was this the Castle Art gold or the Castle Art? I'm just going to say Castle Art pencils and hope for the best. Because I use both of those quite a lot, it's hard to remember which ones were the ones that I used. But I've posted it on Instagram and I always write what I've used in the illustration, so it should be there. But yeah, absolutely love it. And then a Posca pen. I always use a Posca pen. If I forget to say it, just sort of think, she's used it somewhere. Because I probably have. So that is the Ladybug page from Mythical Hybrid Special of Colour in Heaven, featuring Josh Lee. Right, and lastly I have Steampunk Animal Special of Colour in Heaven, and this one is by Jennifer Zimmerman. Let me just take that paper out a moment. And this is my most recent finished page. Absolutely proud of myself for this one. Because, I don't know, I never thought it would turn out this well when I started it. Even that little bird I'm really proud of. Yeah. And this is... I'm going to say this is the Castle Art Gold pencils as well, because that's what I mostly use this month, because I was at my brother's house and that's what I took with me. Yes, I definitely use the Castle Art Gold pencils. When you sort of think it through, your brain then clicks, yes. And yeah, this was a grayscale image to start with. Maybe I can show you. This is how they sort of grayscale their images. So it has a bit on, but not fully. grayscale. But yeah, I really like how that turned out. So that was by Jennifer Zimmerman from the Steampunk Animal special of Colour in Heaven. Now some of these pages that I've shown, I do have videos of me colouring them, which if you wish to, they are on the channel, just waiting to be watched, whether anybody wants to watch them or not. So I do have another page that I'm working on a video at the moment, which I hope to film a bit more in a moment after I've finished this, and hopefully get it done at least sometime this week maybe, but work is really busy at the moment and by the time I get home I'm like knackered. So until next time, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to watching everybody else's completed pages videos. Thank you. Bye.